up, everyone? My name is NINAAD and I'm a legal intern at LEXIS and Company. I'm also a student of the Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. In today's video, we're going to be talking a bit about social media and the notions of free speech related to it. So let's get started. Social media primarily comprises of internet and mobile phone based tools that are used for sharing and discussing information. It blends technology, telecommunication, and various social interactions and provides a suitable platform to communicate through either words, pictures, films, and music, or even otherwise. It has become such a huge influence in today's era that not even one person can say that it hasn't become a very dominant extension of our own lives. Hence, today it is arguably the most important tool for communication through which individuals or groups of individuals exchange information and ideas. It has and continues to help innumerable growing movements of people all around the world who are advocating for various fundamentally important requisites like change, justice, equality, accountability of the powerful, and the respect for human rights in general. Now, social media platforms hence perform the very crucial responsibility of being the carrier of their message to the rest of the world. Hence, as it is a world of its own, people are arguably free to express all that they wish to without any restrictions whatsoever. Just like in real life, the freedom of speech and expression takes to the virtual world, perhaps even more so than it gets to the actual world. Now, as is the case of India, this concept is considered as a fundamental right and is granted under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution of India. But as per Article 19(2) of the Constitution, the legislature may enact certain laws to impose restrictions on the right to free speech and expression on certain grounds. Now, even though it seems somewhat fair that we are getting free speech with reasonable restrictions, there have been various instances that tell otherwise. Our intentions and concerns in relation to the freedom of speech and expression on social media and its undefined boundaries have culminated into a war between the government and the social media apps. But this war itself isn't as new as we think it is. People have been arrested, detained, and even put before courts for merely expressing their opinions and voicing out their concerns with regards to the government on the internet. There are many instances of such activist performances by the government where the cyber tyrants have been tried to be brought to justice. More recently, the government brought in another conflicting legislation called the Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules of 2021. These rules are intended to address the disturbing developments, including fake news, distorted images of women, and abusive language, as well as crime, terrorism, and incitement to disturb public order. These rules require the social media platforms functioning in the country to exercise due diligence and related processes to ensure that they do not host any sorts of illegal content and allow the government to notify platforms that a specific piece of information is illegal. There is also a requirement for publishers of news as well as current affairs to adhere to the code of ethics to be overseen by the government as well. Moreover, when necessary to ensure national security or combat crime, social media platforms must enable the government to identify the originators of specified private messages as well. While on the face of it, these rules seem really important and necessary for the purposes of national interests, but these have their fair share of problems with regards to the kind of formulation and the kind of powers that the government is asking social media platforms to provide to them. Hence, these rules have had widespread criticism both in India as well as internationally. As regards, especially to the social media platforms, there have been raised at least two very serious human rights concerns. These are first, the restriction on permissible content is broader than the exceptions to freedom of speech and expression allowed in the international law as well as in the Indian constitution itself, and the discretion and the jurisdiction given to the government to declare such information as unlawful or illegal creates a risk of unnecessary or arbitrary censorship of acceptable political debate and discourse. As such, any political party that is in power will be able to get whatever they want and would be able to suppress any kind of information that might put their stand in power at risk. Second, the requirement in the rules that the messaging service providers dismantle their end-to-end encryption on government request in order to identify original posters of messages may violate the right to privacy to extents that we cannot even fathom. Further, these rules are also very controversial in general because they seek to regulate not only social media platforms but also digital media as well. But overall, this matter is incredibly complex. Neither side is currently capable of coming out as completely right or wrong. Giving absolute power like this to either side would be equivalent of inviting chaos. Hence, there is a dire need to find some sort of middle ground and try to establish a peace on equitable and not on any sorts of arbitrary grounds. Although the idea is quite it's idealistic, especially in the wake of the current situation, it is not only very necessary, but it is only possible on these lines that the battle between the government and social media can be settled without violating or prejudicing either party of their rights, while also not letting them slack off from their very important and very fundamental responsibilities. That is all for this video. If you learned something from it, do definitely like, share, and subscribe. To comment down below any sorts of questions, suggestions, opinions, or queries you might have regarding the video. That's all. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one.